They said he never lost a single battle, not one, 61 duels, 61 victories, no army, no fancy armor, just a man with a wooden sword and an unshakable mind. His name was Musashi, and his true weapon wasn't the blade. It was emotional control. Now, before you think this story is about swords or samurai legends, it's not, it's about you. Because the same principles that made Musashi unbeatable in the 1600s can make you unstoppable today. In your career, your relationships, and your personal battles. By the end of this story, you'll understand how to master your emotions the way Musashi mastered his sword, so you can stop reacting to life and start shaping it. So take a breath, let's step into the dojo, the one inside your mind. The year was 1612, the morning mist clung to the river like silk. A wooden boat drifted silently toward a small island. In it sat Miyamoto Musashi, barefoot, calm, holding only a wooden bakken. He was on his way to face Sasaki Kojiro, Japan's most feared swordsman. Kojiro's blade was long as a man's arm and sharp as a whisper. The townspeople said this duel would decide who was Japan's greatest warrior. But as the boat glided over the water, Musashi didn't think about victory or defeat. He watched the reflection of the sun ripple across the waves. He whispered, "The enemy is not before me. The enemy is within." The boatmen looked at him strangely. "Are you not afraid, master?" Musashi smiled. "Fear is a wave. I choose whether to drown in it or to ride it." Pause for a second. What would you do in that moment, when the world expects you to be perfect and fear rises like a tide inside your chest? Musashi had learned something most people never do, that the real duel is never fought with another person. It's fought between you and your own emotions. Lesson 1, accept reality without distortion. Years before that fateful duel, Musashi was known for being reckless, driven by anger and pride. He fought for reputation, not clarity, and because of that he often fought carelessly. One day, after nearly losing a duel, his master told him, "You swing your sword not at your opponent, but at your imagination." Those words stung, but they awakened something. From that day, Musashi trained not only his body, but his perception. When rain fell, he didn't curse it. He studied how it blurred the world. When people insulted him, he didn't react. He observed how his heart tightened and his breath shortened. He realized the first cut is not the sword, it's the story you tell yourself. Someone insults you, and you decide it means disrespect. Someone rejects you, and you decide it means you're not enough. These interpretations become your emotional enemies. Musashi practiced seeing things as they were, not as he felt them, and this gave him a power that no weapon could provide. Clarity. Lesson 2, train your mind through daily discipline. In modern life, we scroll for inspiration, waiting for motivation to strike like lightning, but Musashi didn't wait. He trained. Every sunrise he practiced sword forms alone in the forest until his muscles trembled. He meditated by waterfalls, learning to steady his breathing even when the thunder roared. He wrote in his journal, "Today's victory is over yourself of yesterday." He wasn't trying to be better than others, he was training to be better than his past self. You see, emotional mastery doesn't come from grand moments, it comes from small, consistent acts of awareness. It's not about never feeling anger or fear. It's about practicing your response to them every single day. So, next time you feel anxious before a big meeting or angry during an argument, take one breath, then another. That's your modern-day dojo. Lesson 3, detach from outcomes you can't control. Back on the boat, Musashi's apprentice worried, "Master, you're late." Kojiro will be furious. The crowd will think you're dishonoring him. Musashi just watched the water, let them think. He arrived on the island hours late. Kojiro stood waiting, furious, his long sword glinting in the sun. "Do you mock me, Musashi?" Kojiro roared. Musashi stepped from the boat, wooden sword in hand, calm as the breeze. "I mock nothing. The tide decides the hour, not I." In that moment, Kojiro's anger became his downfall. He swung his blade with rage, fast, powerful, but unfocused. Musashi saw the opening, stepped aside and struck once. The duel was over in seconds. Musashi bowed, then turned and walked away. The people whispered of his cunning, his timing, his skill, but they missed the truth. Musashi didn't control the tide, or Kojiro's anger, or the whispers of the crowd. He controlled only one thing, his state of mind. That's the same truth we forget every day. You can't control who texts you back. You can't control the traffic, the weather, or other people's opinions. But you can control your focus, your effort, and your attitude. Everything else? That's the tide. Let it flow. Lesson 4. Maintain balance between opposites. As years passed, Musashi retired from dueling and became a teacher. One evening, a student asked, "Master, why do you sometimes teach with gentleness and other times with anger?" Musashi smiled, stirring the firelight with a stick. "Because both exist within the same flame. Too much gentleness breeds weakness. Too much anger destroys discipline. Balance is strength." He taught his students not to suppress emotions but to harness them. Anger can be energy when guided by wisdom. Fear can be awareness when seen clearly. Even sorrow can deepen compassion, he would say. A warrior without emotions is a corpse. A warrior controlled by emotions is a fool. Balance isn't silence, it's harmony. Think about it. When's the last time you let one emotion rule your day? Maybe frustration ruined your morning, or anxiety kept you from taking a risk. Musashi would remind you, emotions are horses. The question is, are you holding the reins? Lesson 5. Commit fully to each moment. In his later years, Musashi retreated to a cave called Rigando, the Spirit Rock Cave. There, with only ink, brush, and candlelight, he wrote the Book of 5 Rings. He wrote, "There is nothing outside of yourself that can ever enable you to get better. Everything is within." When he painted, he only painted. When he ate, he only ate. When he breathed, he only breathed. He had discovered the final secret, presence, because the moment your mind drifts to the past, you're fighting ghosts. And when it leaps into the future, you're dueling shadows. But when you stand fully in the now, nothing can defeat you. That's how Musashi lived, and that's how he never lost. Not just in duels, but in life lesson. You and I may never stand on a battlefield with swords in our hands, but we do face battles every day. The duel against frustration when things go wrong, the duel against anxiety when the future feels uncertain, the duel against anger when someone disrespects us. Musashi's wisdom reminds us that mastery is not the absence of emotion, it's the awareness of it. When you see clearly, train daily, detach from outcomes, balance your inner forces, and live fully in the moment, you become undefeatable. Not because life stops challenging you, but because you stop breaking every time it does. So ask yourself, what's the emotion that most often defeats you? And how would your life change if you learned to face it the way Musashi faced his enemies, calm, grounded, and present? If this story touched your heart, share it with someone fighting their own inner battle today, because sometimes all someone needs is to remember their strength is already within them.